usual. Hello there, and welcome to episode 103 of my series where I try to play the towns, cities and urban areas of Norway perfectly on Geoguessr, that is, to achieve a score of 25,000 points for each game. Today we are moving to one of the few proper inland towns / cities of Norway. We go in between Bergen and Oslo to the town of Rjukan. And as you can see, that's a very long thin thing. It sits at the bottom of this valley here, and it came into being about 110 years ago because of the waterfalls around here, and this place grew because of industry that was established in the valley due to the proximity of large waterfalls that provided a lot of hydroelectricity, and this became part of sort of an elongated industrial area that extended from the hydropower plants here at Rjukan down the valley, down along this lake and this river, and down into Notodden, to the extent that the entire sort of the old industrial areas of Notodden and the old railroad running from Notodden to the south end of the lake here, the ferry going all the way, the railroad ferry going all the way up the lake up here, and then the railroad out here, plus the city here, and the hydropower plants here are all part of a UNESCO World Heritage Site now. Anyways, Rjukan, the valley here is so deep and so narrow that they don't get any sunlight here for quite some time during winter, and eventually they, in order for the locals down in the valley to see some sunlight during summer, not summer, during winter, they put up a sun mirror here on the mountain that reflects the sun down into the town square whenever the sun is out during winter. So the sun-hungry locals can go to the town square to get the taste of the sun if they feel really fed up with the murk. So let's see. I've been through Rjukan once, and that was in my teens. So I guess it's about time I go visit again. So this town was built pretty much. It was designed pretty much from scratch, and it is considered one of the first towns in Norway that were actually planned out from the start, and drawn by architects. And even the mailboxes and park benches were drawn or designed specifically for this town. So I'm interested to see how this looks. Today there's about 3,000 people living here. If you go back to the 1960s, there were 6,000 living there, but I guess deindustrialization of the place has caused the drop in the population. Also worth noting is the Norwegian Industrial Workers Museum up here, which is housed in the old power plant called Vemork. And in Vemork there was a heavy water factory that the Germans during the Second World War used as a facility, of course, to produce heavy water, which was needed in the to run nuclear reactors, and as part of their research into trying to make a nuclear weapon, And so the Allied forces, together with Norwegians, they launched several operations from 1943 to 44 to hamper or stop the production of heavy water in Vemork, and eventually succeeded. And the whole thing, the factory was bombed without much success. They sent in saboteur crews to blow up the plant, which was a partial success. And then eventually they sank the ferry transporting the heavy water, which, well, I guess we can consider a success. Anyways, that's enough blabbing. That's 5 minutes. That's the longest introduction I've done. Let's play this thing. Yeah, so you have to apologize for the long rambling intro, but it's an interesting place of recent history in Norway. And, well, here you can see ized steep valley. And, yeah, this is all very 1920s to 30s and earlier. Let's see. Do we have any name here? There's okay, the house, bar and pub. Okay, and that is very telling of the place. There's a local cinema and cafe, and that is... Oh, we can't go in here. That's a shame. That's very 1920s. I wouldn't be surprised. I have to say I'm not an expert on architecture in any way, but there's this style that they refer to as, well, I guess it's mainly known as functionalism, i.e., function before form, and even the motel looks like a factory. Wow. So yeah, that building would be very, very typical of that particular approach to architecture. It's not quite Battersea, is it? But right. So we got a number of factories, and I have no idea where I am. So well, here's the Rjukan yesterday. There's Birkeland Street. And so, well, if you remember from yesterday when we played the Alna, we have Samuel Eide and Professor Birkeland, who teamed up to make the first artificial fertilizer plants. And the first one, or one of the first ones, was made here in Rjukan. Actually, the name Rjukan comes from the name of one of the waterfalls in the area. It's way up the valley, and I don't know how much you can see of it these days. And the Rjukan basically means the smoking or steaming waterfall. So the steaming one, I guess you could translate it as. Is this? No, there we go. So let's see. So I guess the Cinema Cafe, and that is supposed to be the police station. Yeah, that could well be. I guess it's rather less busy now. That, yeah, police. There we are. Okay, and this is house number 2. 1, 2. Yeah, duh. That's the pub. And we are standing, looking at the far corner of this building. I almost got carried away and looking at the wrong one there. So we should be about here. Ah, yeah, so that's another thing. The Norseman Extreme Triathlon. That is a thing, all right. And so I'm sorry for all the blabbing in this episode, but it is so much going on. So the Norseman Triathlon, if you are into that sort of thing, this is right up your alley. So as it says, it's in early August, and it starts by brought out in a ferry to a point sort of out here in the at the very innermost reaches of the Hardanger fjord. And then you just jump off the ferry. That's like, I think that's a 5-meter drop or something into the sea, and then you swim your way to the small town here of Eidfjord. You get on your bicycle, and then you ride. And this is quite a climb. And this is, I think it's about 1,000 meters of climbing from here to about here. And through tunnels and all sorts of stuff. And then you ride all the way to Yelu, you go over here to Dagli, you go over here, then you ride up this mountain, and you come down here, and right around here, and let's see, I think it's somewhere over here, or possibly here. Then you start the marathon leg, and you run along the road here, you pass this power transformation station or whatever this is, and then you run up this road. It's up, and then when there's no more road, when you come up here, you run to the top of this mountain, which is at 1,883 meters, and it's all rubble and crap to get up here. It's a magnificent view, and you can see, like they say, like a sixth of southern Norway from the top of it. It's the highest mountain well, basically forever. And but yeah, that's the finish line of this Norseman triathlon. Good luck. So where are we? We must be pretty far down the valley. There's some interesting stuff going on. Let's see what it says over here. Oh, okay. So I was actually looking up the valley, not down the valley. Yeah, if you checked your compass, you would have noticed, you ninny. Okay, so this is where the road up along the mountainside here goes. Let's see. Statkraft, yeah, that's the national power or the electrical power infrastructure company. So that means we're somewhere there then. Let's see. Let's see, is that, could it be that one? But, well, have we crossed that brook? Yes, we have. And there was another thing, yeah. Yes, here's the... Right. So we're right next to this position here. And... bar any map misalignment. We should be there. Right. Okay. Let's go with that. Nice. Next one. Round 3. That looks like a church, but I don't think it... Well... could possibly be this one, Dal Church, and if that is the case... Birkelen, the Birch Grove, northeast. No, this doesn't seem likely. Although though, so here we're crossing the railroad, and the church is on the north side of it. Okay, this is not the one. So I guess we'll have to look for a church in town. That is not the one. And then the railroad goes into a tunnel or something. Okay, I am puzzled. And that was not the way I clicked, but that was the way I went. The Rjukan bath, okay, and here's a, oh, well, how about that? So, was that a chapel? No. So right now we are a little befuddled. Okay, so now we're looking at this bit, right? Oh, there's a church right across the river. Okay. And that should mean that we are about here. And so we have that building over there, which must be this one. Then we have the... yeah, it's got to be right. So, looking about there-ish. Good. And then, round 4. There's a Kiwi grocery store. And are we far up or far down? Well, let's see if we can find the Kiwi. Let's start up the road and work our way down. The power line road. Ah, yeah, that's another thing. Here's the the Crosso lazy ride. Crosso is a gondola line that takes you up the mountainside. It's a very popular thing for the locals, especially in winter, to go check out to see whether the sun still exists or not. Let's see. Can we see any Kiwi grocery stores? Well, we're definitely not downtown. Well, saying that, the first round was... oh, here we probably are. That first round was probably the most urban location we've had in the whole series. Well, that's exaggerating slightly, but still. Okay, so if that is the Kiwi, let's see. I'm not so sure. Certain things it doesn't quite match, but you have that thing. That must be this one. That must be that one. And that grey thing over there is this one. And we're looking at this one. If I turn around now, there should be a house right behind me. Yes. And looking north, we're looking just past the edge of this building. Should put us there. Good enough. And we're downtown again. And we're just slightly further down the street because that's the police station that we were at. I've got Tin Savings Bank. Tin is the name of the commune. Let's see, I just want to have a little look around. Yeah, some Ada Street, so this is the main strip through town. There's a cafe. Oh, that's an interesting name for Scolopendra. This is the town square. Can we see the mirror? There it is. That's the sun mirror reflecting rays down into the town square. Da, da, UNESCO World Heritage. Right. This is a Rjukan library. And yeah, the hydro town. And I guess that's this Mr. Ada. Yeah, the sun mirror. This is... I have to go back and check out Rjukan again. Yeah. This looks like such a nice place to bring a camera as well. So, let's see. So sun mirror is up there. And let's see, what's the savings bank? Police station, Skolopendra Cafe and China restaurant. Why have they named it for one of the ugliest insects in the creation? Well, it's not an insect, but it is an invertebrate. Oh, all right. There's a statue here. Oh yeah, this one. Of Gunnar Sundsteby. He was one of the most renowned, or the most highly decorated. Google Maps has blanked his face and blurred his face out. He was one of the most. It was the most decorated saboteur slash resistance slash partisan in Norway after the war. He lived to ripe old age. It's not that long ago since he died. So, yeah. Right. Anyways. There we are. And the most blabby episode of the series comes to an end. But yeah, that really rekindled my desire to go back to Rjukan and check the place out. So there we go. Episode 103 in the bag. Please check in tomorrow for episode 104. Until then, bye-bye.